Let's do this shit, man.
It's bright in here today.
I'm gonna tell you what it is. Not the lights. I adjusted the setting on here, so we'll see how it look. If we looking godly as a bitch,
I'm about to say we look heavenly.
Yeah, right. But you know what?
I'm not mad at it.
It looks me neither.
I prefer the brighter look.
Yeah.
Godly.
Dog.
Like bones.
I'm gonna miss everything.
And I miss my house, y'all. Y'all, welcome back to Cinecism. I'm Eric.
It's your boy Dante, man, and today we're going to be doing a review on Coming to America.
The plot is focused on Prince Hakeem, played by Eddie Murphy. He's the prince of the fictional country in Africa, Zamunda. He's coming of age where he's ready to take a bride. Your marriage is basically arranged. You don't really have a say in who you marry. The issue is he doesn't really like, or he's not really acceptant of the tradition of his country, and he wants to fall in love and marry the person that he wants to be with. The movie basically is about him leaving his country to find his bride to be in the U.S.
He really wants to find somebody that's going to appreciate him for who he is. He doesn't want to be married to somebody just because of his lineage. He ends up wanting to basically be a commoner. He kind of ends up slumming it with Simi. At the core of it, it has a classic romantic comedy, fish out of water story. It's such a unique twist on that. And then that's in big part due to Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall. They play so many different characters in this movie. It's just one of those movies that has an incredibly strong cast. Because of that, this movie is elevated to a whole nother level. I think the concept is funny, but the people involved in it made it just downright hilarious.
So Prince Hakeem, he's a young prince. His father, the king, played by James Earl Jones, is a very traditional, stern, by the book type king. He makes it pretty known, like your wife is supposed to, at least in their culture, your wife is supposed to be subjective. Hakeem doesn't really want this in a wife. He wants somebody that loves him genuinely and is more of a partner than a subject to him.
I thought it was interesting that the movie said that, because I noticed that too when I rewatched it. I was like, man, that don't describe his wife though. James Earl Jones's wife wasn't like that. She wasn't that's
an interesting point.
Yeah, she wasn't a subordinate.
About that.
Yeah, she had opinions and all of that. She seemed like to be very much of her own person, and they seemed to have a partnership. So I thought it was interesting when the movie kept trying to say that it was a tradition that your wife be more of a seen and not heard. Yeah, man, Hakeem, he's just a great character, and it's so funny because he's so regal, and to see him in a setting like New York, especially New York in the 80s, well, New York at any time, but to see him in New York, he's so intelligent, but he's naive to American culture. It's just a lot of instances in which they clash, and the comedy just pours out. He's a good guy, man. He really is, and he's a genuine guy, clearly a very caring person, well-read, and he just really wants to find somebody that he can spend his life with and share his life with. He doesn't really want a shallow existence. He never really had to do for himself. So aside from him finding a wife, this is also an opportunity for him to be independent in New York too, with him and his best friend.
Speaking of his best friend, we got Simi, played by Arsenio Hall. At this time, was Arsenio Hall in a lot of movies?
No.
Yeah, because he kind of was doing his talk show thing, right? So I always thought it was interesting to see him playing such a big supporting role in this movie. It was always random to me.
It was.
Because I don't remember seeing him in a lot of movies.
No, absolutely not.
He was, of course, the comedic relief akin to Prince Hakeem's more serious nature. He has no shame in it.
Not at all. He bougie 1,000%. The older I got, the more I feel bad for Simi. I understand his position, because he really thought he was going on a trip to have fun with his boy. And then he ain't know nothing about how they was going to be living in the projects, working at McDonald's. Like, you know what I'm saying? Right. He kind of caught a raw deal. And then in the midst of that, Hakeem is the one really searching for his wife. Simi ain't really getting no play. So it's just, I felt bad for him in retrospect, the older I got. But man, is he funny, dog. Throughout the movie, you can just see he over it. Like, he can't stand it here. He hates it. You know what I never quite understood? They never really established who he was in terms of, because it's like he wasn't royalty.
He might have just been like come from another wealthy family.
Well, they called him his servant. He was his subordinate. Whatever Hakeem said go, he didn't really have a say-so. So it was interesting that they were friends, but at the same time, it was like he was supposed to be his helper. So, yeah, that's what they referred to him as. Yeah. Man, he killed it, bro. I swear to God. I guess back then you would think it was weird casting, but it made all the sense in the world. And then I think we were more familiar with Eddie Murphy and his range in terms of becoming characters. I don't think we knew that Arsenio could. And some of his characters in this movie, I'm not going to lie, was some of the funniest characters you probably was going to see.
Then you have Lisa, Hakeem, and Semi meet after. How did they even get that job? Now that I think about it.
So they ended up going to that Black Awareness rally. McDowell's catered it, and then he saw Lisa. Yeah. So.
Okay. Yeah. She comes from a established family in her own right. Of course, in comparison to little royalty, it pales.
Daryl, who she's dating,
douchebag of a dude.
Of course.
Like, why do they always be with them dudes in these movies?
I have no idea.
It just don't even be making. Well, I guess it do be making.
Yeah.
I guess. Like,
it seemed kind of a parallel to Hakeem's situation, which is, I'm not saying she didn't like him, but it felt more arranged by her father because that guy came from a wealthy family too.
So I guess it was like a mirror.
They were in very similar situations. She a really down-to-earth woman. She cares a lot about the community, and she has her own opinion.
Man, we gotta talk about all of the different roles that Arsenio and Eddie played in this movie. They were multiple characters in the barbershop.
Yeah. The only person, it was one person in the barbershop that they were not. That short guy, that boy good. That guy. Aside from that, everybody else was either Arsenio or Eddie Murphy. The costume work is really well done, especially with some of these characters that Eddie and Arsenio played. You wouldn't even know it was them. Some of these people I didn't know was anybody at all. You know what I'm saying?
What?
Now you're gonna fuck.
Well, I want to know what you mean. That's all.
I was saying, some of these people I thought were just their own entity. I didn't think they were Eddie or Arsenio. I thought it was a person.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, a person. Okay.
I thought it was
like a person,
a real guy
from them.
Yeah.
You gonna have to worry that a real guy. Man, you crazy.
But you understand
I know what you're saying now,
right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Them barbershop scene, you know what it made me think of? I don't think it was a lot of portrayals of how barbershops really are in movies up until that point. And I thought about the movie Barbershop and how that kind of like followed in the footsteps of just that small piece of this movie.
That's very true.
But it was just so accurate, bro, especially with old head barbershop, how they was just arguing about old sports.
They really be talking crazy like that.
It was funny as hell, bro. The guy that Eddie Murphy was too, because he was clearly the dude that just ran his mouth in the shop and was talking shit. And then he played that Jewish guy too, man. And he did a if a man wants to change his name to Muhammad Ali, and Mama call him Clay, I'm gonna call him Clay. One of my favorite scenes in this movie is the one where they went to the Black Awareness rally. That first of all, the Reggie Watson nigga, we gonna get to him. But that preacher that Arsenio played, and I ain't come here to preach to y'all today, but you know, there's a God somewhere. Why did they have them girls in bikinis on the stage?
That's exactly what I said. I was like, what kind of event is this?
At the Black Awareness rally? It was supposed to be about saving the youth center or some type of park.
Oh, I know what it was supposed to be about. but I'm trying to figure out what it was. I know what they were saying.
I wasn't watching.
But what they were doing, it just wasn't that.
Dog, not at all.
For whatever reason, I never questioned that before I watched this last
dog,
time.
I swear to God, that's what happened to me. If they was, I guess, just up there like some sort of a pageant.
It could have been just that. It could have been that. That could have been a fundraiser in itself.
Yeah.
The fact that it was coupled with the preacher and all the other shit, that's what made me question the sanity of it.
I think that's what it was.
Oh my God. It was, his little solo was so awkward, man. Why he was like sexually ambiguous with people?
Because you already know before he even starts singing that he bad, because the way people responded.
And people just leave.
Yeah, people was leaving. People was barely clapping. Terrible. Eddie Murphy as that guy was hilarious. And then he thought he killed it. He was like, sexual chocolate. Give it up for the band.
Yeah. God damn, that movie.
Oh
That
my,
scene was crazy,
bro!
man.
Everything about that scene is hilarious.
No, you know what had me like, man, what the fuck was when after Hakeem and Simi saved everybody at the restaurant from the robber played by Samuel L. Jackson, mind you. What a random cameo. You know, they saved everybody and how the dad invited them over. And they ended up being like servants at a
Valets
party.
and shit. Yeah,
I'm
that
like,
was
it's just
wild.
some shit.
Yeah, that was wild, bro. And then the way he extended the invitation was like they were going to be guests.
Oh, yeah.
He was like, yeah, I'm having a little get together. You know, don't fill up your schedule. Then they come over that bitch. He got them in them
So you want me to leave work for you to come to your house and work for you for free, probably, possibly.
Yeah.
I don't know. The wages weren't discussed.
Yeah, nah.
But I would assume that it was like there was no wage.
No. I'm like, bro, how you get robbed 5 times by Samuel L. Jackson? That's crazy. By the same guy? Like, that shit just was crazy. And the fact that he went back there 5 times is insane to me.
It is. Get the strap, bro.
Yeah, nigga, please. Give it to Louis Anderson.
I forgot Louis Anderson.
They had Louis Anderson.
Louis Anderson, man.
You know what else, man? This movie, I felt like, in rewatching it, I felt like this movie kind of had that similar effect of Black Panther before Black Panther had it. Highlighting African culture, some of the more regal aspects of it. The opening of this movie is amazing. Like, you know, just that whole opening sequence going over the mountains, and then you really get an established view of what Zamunda is like. They really paint this really good picture of Hakeem's life. The first 30 to 40 minutes are in Zamunda. Like, you know, for the most part, you get to get a view of Hakeem's life and the kingdom, and it's just really nice. The attention to details of their outfits. Like when he came through, when King Joffrey came through with that lion with the jewels in the eyes, nigga, I said, oh, that's a flex. That is a flex. Then his mom had on like a chinchilla.
Right.
They was fly.
That was a Lion King foreshadow.
But you know what's funny is that James Earl Jones and the woman, I think her name is Magda Sinclair, they played, of course, in the Lion King, played Mufasa and Sarabi.
That's what she was?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so they were the king and queen in the Lion King too, and I'm pretty sure they probably saw this movie and thought that was the move. I don't know what it is, man. Some of these movies, these classic movies, you can just tell that the origin of it is just real organic. They cared about it and they wanted to make a movie and they wanted to make a funny movie and it just turns out to be a classic. It really shows in the attention to detail. Even when I watched this again, just noticing when he was playing the characters and how he would have to be in the same place as whoever the other character he was playing. And you just see the camera work. It was just so seamless when he played the white guy in the barbershop. In the background, you would see him. Obviously, it's not Eddie Murphy because you could see Hakeem in the shot too. They thought enough about it to put a guy in that place to dress him up in makeup just to have him sit there and not even have any dialogue just because they wanted continuity. And I appreciate that type of shit, man.
Coming to America was definitely still enjoyable. I think I laughed just as much as I did, you know, the last time I saw it. I mean, it was just a good comedy, not only for that time, but even modern time. I'm glad that they're finally making a sequel. Of course, I'm not expecting it to live up, you know, to the original, but it's going to be good to see at least the cast together again.
I agree.
So, if nothing else. Overall, I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10.
You gonna give it a 7.5?
Okay, 8.
You don't like Coming to America?
Yeah, I like it.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Is this my favorite comedy? No.
Okay.
No, man, it's an 8. I give it an 8 out of 10.
Well, let me stop you.
Oh, well, I've been stopped.
This is actually one of my favorite comedies of all time. I would put it in my top 5 favorite comedies of all time. I could argue that it's probably one of the best comedies of all time. I think it holds up really well. It doesn't become bogged down by trying to be funny too much, and I think that's just because you have a lot of naturally funny people on here just doing what they do best. And the older I get, the more I appreciate it. I laugh like I never seen it. Classic lines, classic characters. I'm gonna give Coming to America a 10.
All right, y'all. Thank you for tuning in to our review of the throwback classic Coming to America. I hope y'all enjoyed that. And as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Also, if you have any suggested reviews, whether it be a throwback movie or a series or, you know, recently released movie or even a trailer for a movie, don't forget to drop a comment below with your suggestion, please.
Absolutely. And if you guys have seen the classic Coming to America, please tell us what you thought. What are some of your favorite moments, some of your favorite characters in terms of rating overall? Please let us know.
What might be your favorite Eddie Murphy movie?
We appreciate y'all, man.
Thank y'all.
Peace.
Peace.